Deep within the woods of Denton, Texas, a weathered iron trussed bridge stretches across a quiet creek. This is the Old Alton Bridge, but it's better known by a far more sinister name: Goat Man's Bridge. It is a place where history and folklore intertwine, where the air hangs heavy with stories passed down through generations. Some come seeking thrills, others a connection to the past. But all who stand in its shadow feel a sense of unease, a feeling that they are not entirely alone. The bridge stands as a silent monument, not just to the passage of time, but to a chilling local legend, an enduring legacy of fear. The bridge itself, built in 1884, was once a vital artery for local commerce, a symbol of progress connecting Denton to the surrounding communities. However, its practical purpose has long been overshadowed by a much darker narrative. According to our local historian, the legend's roots are tangled in the post-Civil War era, a time of deep social unrest. The most popular version of the tale speaks of a successful African-American goat farmer named Oscar Washburn, who lived near the bridge. His success drew the ire of local Klansmen, who, in a heinous act of racial violence, abducted him and hanged him from the bridge's trusses. When they returned to the creek below, his body was gone, with only the empty noose swinging in the breeze. Community belief holds that his vengeful spirit, now a half-man, half-goat creature, has haunted the bridge and surrounding woods ever since, a terrifying guardian born from tragedy. These tales, fueled by historical tensions and rural superstition, became deeply embedded in the local psyche, transforming a simple crossing into a site of perpetual dread. The first whispers of terrifying encounters began to surface in the decades following the alleged murder. Local folklore from the early 20th century is filled with chilling reports from those who dared to cross the bridge after dark. They spoke of glowing red eyes peering from the dense thicket, the sound of hooves clattering on the wooden planks behind them, and a guttural, inhuman cry echoing through the night. The historian explains that these early accounts solidified the legend's grip on the community. Fear became a tangible presence, passed from parent to child as a solemn warning. A longtime resident, whose family has lived in the area for generations, shares stories inherited from their grandparents. They speak of a deep-seated rule: never cross the bridge at night, never taunt the spirit, and never, ever knock on the iron trusses 3 times, for that is a direct invitation to the Goat Man himself. These ancestral warnings were not just ghost stories. They were survival guides for living on the edge of a haunted land. As the years passed, the legend of the Goat Man only grew, bolstered by a collection of alleged evidence and terrifying personal experiences. Old newspaper clippings from the mid-20th century document periods of intense local panic, with spikes in reported sightings and unexplained phenomena. Police reports detail calls about strange lights and figures seen lurking near the bridge, though no official explanation was ever found. Grainy photographs have circulated for decades, purporting to show a shadowy, horned figure in the woods, though their authenticity remains highly contested. The historian notes these periods of heightened fear often corresponded with local tragedies or social anxieties, with the Goat Man serving as a scapegoat for the community's collective fears. The local believer recounts a personal ordeal from their teenage years, a night they and their friends were chased from the bridge by what they describe as a massive, dark shape that moved with unnatural speed. They recall the overwhelming smell of decay and the bone-chilling sound of something large crashing through the underbrush just behind them, a memory that still evokes a visceral sense of terror. However, not everyone in the community is convinced by the ghostly tales. For every believer, there is a skeptic armed with logic and reason. A skeptical resident, familiar with the local environment, argues that the legend is a product of overactive imaginations and misinterpretation. They point out that the dense woods surrounding the bridge are home to a variety of wildlife. The glowing eyes are often just the reflection from a deer or raccoon caught in a flashlight's beam. The sound of hooves on the bridge could easily be the echo of falling branches or rocks. and the eerie cries are likely the calls of owls or foxes, amplified and distorted by the night stillness. The skeptic emphasizes that in an age of high-definition cameras and constant surveillance, there remains not a single piece of definitive, verifiable evidence of a supernatural creature. All we have are blurry photos, ambiguous sounds, and stories that grow more dramatic with each retelling. Despite the skepticism, the strange occurrences at Goatman's Bridge have not ceased. In recent years, paranormal investigators and curious thrill-seekers have flocked to the location, and their modern technology has captured a new wave of unexplained events. There are reports of car doors locking and unlocking on their own, batteries in cameras and phones draining inexplicably, and disembodied voices being captured on audio recorders, a phenomenon known as electronic voice phenomena, or EVP. The believer describes a recent visit where they felt an unseen force push them and heard a clear whisper in their ear when no one was near. The skeptic, however, remains unconvinced, offering counter-arguments for these modern claims. They suggest that the electronic malfunctions could be caused by the bridge's iron structure interfering with signals, and the EVPs are likely just audio pareidolia, where the brain interprets random noise as coherent speech. The debate, it seems, is as alive as the legend itself. In a bid to find answers, a team of investigators descends upon the bridge as night falls, their van filled with an arsenal of paranormal detection equipment. They set up motion-activated cameras, electromagnetic field (EMF) meters, and sensitive audio recorders along the length of the structure and in the surrounding woods. The atmosphere is thick with tension as they begin their vigil, a quiet watch punctuated only by the chirping of crickets and the rustle of leaves. Hours pass. Then, a sudden spike on an EMF meter. A camera captures a fleeting orb of light. An audio recorder picks up a faint, unidentifiable sound that seems to mimic a growl. The investigators huddle together, reviewing the ambiguous data, their excitement tempered by the inconclusive nature of their findings. When presented with the evidence, the skeptic offers plausible alternatives. The EMF spike could be from a passing car's electronics, the orb a mere dust particle or insect, and the growl the sound of the wind. The frustration is palpable. Definitive proof remains as elusive as the phantom itself. In the end, Goatman's Bridge holds its secrets close. The iron and wood stand as a silent witness, its history a tapestry woven with threads of fact, folklore, and fear. The truth, whatever it may be, remains obscured by the shadows of the past and the mists of the creek below. The historian reflects that some legends are not meant to be solved. Their power lies in their persistence, their ability to tap into our most primal fears and captivate our imaginations across generations. The believer's fear is unwavering, their conviction absolute. For them, the Goatman is a real and present danger. The skeptic, while still searching for a logical answer, cannot deny the powerful and persistent enigma that shrouds the bridge. The legend endures, the mystery remains. What secrets does Goatman's Bridge truly hide?
In the quiet moments of our lives, we are drawn to the allure of the unseen, to the whispers that cling to places of great human endeavor and profound tragedy. We seek out the narratives that blur the line between the world we know and the one that might exist just beyond our senses. The Humber Bridge, an architectural marvel stretching across the vast gray estuary, is one such place. It stands as a gateway, a testament to ambition forged in steel and concrete. But for some, it is also a portal to something more, a monumental span where strange tales echo. Are these stories mere figments of a collective imagination, twisted by fear and folklore over decades? Or do they hold kernels of truth, the spectral remnants of history forever calling out from the shadows? The legends surrounding this colossal structure are as chilling as the North Sea wind that scours its towers. The most persistent of these tales is that of the Headless Workman, a tragic phantom believed to be an echo of the bridge's dangerous construction. Locals and late-night travelers have shared unsettling accounts, their voices hushed with a mixture of fear and conviction. I saw him clear as day standing there by the railing but his head, it was just gone. As if he were searching for it in the gloom, one might recall, the memory still sharp and unnerving. This spectral figure often appears from the dense fog that rolls in from the estuary. A dark, indistinct shape that vanishes as abruptly as it materialized, melting back into the tree line of the surrounding country park. Another pervasive story is that of the vanishing cyclist. Witnesses describe a swift, blurred apparition, a flash of motion on the bridge's pathway that seems to defy logic. "The bike went right past me, no rider, just speed and then gone in the mist near the third tower." Another account details, emphasizing the suddenness and unnatural velocity. These are not just casual anecdotes, they are first-hand encounters that leave an indelible mark. One minute they were there, a tangible presence, the next, like smoke, dissolved into nothing. As these stories are told, the bridge itself seems to participate, its metallic groans and the ceaseless hum of its cables serving as an unsettling score to the narratives of the lost. Beyond the realm of folklore and ghostly apparitions lies a darker, more tangible sorrow. The Humber Bridge, while a symbol of connection and progress, has also borne witness to profound human despair. Its immense height and the vast dark water below have, for some, represented a final tragic escape. This is a difficult truth, one that casts a long, somber shadow over the bridge's celebrated engineering. The barriers that now line its walkways, the prominently placed warning signs, and the emergency phones are all silent testaments to this painful history, physical manifestations of efforts to prevent further loss and reach out to those in crisis. The bridge in these moments feels less like a thoroughfare and more like a precipice, a place of profound isolation where the sheer scale of the structure can amplify feelings of solitude and hopelessness. The raw power of the wind and the endless expanse of gray water create an environment that is both awe-inspiring and deeply intimidating. The usual hum of the bridge seems to take on a heavier, more oppressive tone, a mournful sigh that hangs in the air, a constant low thrum of sadness for the lives touched by tragedy here. Yet, for every spectral tale, there is a search for a rational explanation, a desire to anchor these mysteries in the solid ground of fact. The human mind is a powerful, often deceptive instrument, and the bridge's unique environment provides the perfect stage for its deceptions. The massive scale of the structure, combined with the region's often inclement weather, creates a symphony of sensory illusions. Dense rolling fog can distort perception, transforming familiar shapes into amorphous moving figures. Strong winds whistling through the intricate network of steel cables produce unusual acoustic phenomena, ghostly groans, eerie moans, and disembodied whispers that seem to travel across the vast open water. Psychologists point to pareidolia, the brain's tendency to perceive familiar patterns such as faces or human figures in random stimuli like the repetitive steelwork or shifting shadows. This cognitive shortcut, combined with the power of expectation and collective suggestion, can easily transform a trick of the light into a ghostly encounter. Furthermore, scientific inquiry has explored the role of infrasound, low-frequency vibrations below the range of human hearing, which can be generated by wind interacting with large structures. Exposure to infrasound has been shown to induce feelings of anxiety, unease, and even the distinct sensation of a presence, providing a potential physiological basis for many paranormal experiences. The legends themselves have roots in real events. The myth of the headless workman likely grew from the very real dangers of the bridge's construction, where accidents, though not resulting in decapitation, sowed the seeds of a cautionary, morbid tale. The vanishing cyclist could be an amalgamation of actual traffic incidents or tragic disappearances, their stories becoming woven into the fabric of local folklore. So why do these myths persist, even in the face of logical and scientific explanations? The answer lies not in the steel and concrete of the bridge, but within the deep-seated human need for narrative. Ghost stories and urban legends tap into our most primal fears of the unknown and the unexplained, but they also serve a more complex purpose. They provide a framework for processing real-world tragedies, giving a narrative shape to random acts of sorrow and despair. These tales forge a powerful connection to local history, transforming a modern marvel of engineering into a place rich with cultural memory and shared identity. They fulfill a fundamental human desire to believe that there is something more than the mundane, that echoes of the past can linger, and that the forgotten are, in some way, remembered. The whispers of the headless workman or the fleeting image of the spectral cyclist are more than just spooky stories. They are the threads of a collective tapestry, woven from fear, memory, and the enduring power of storytelling. These narratives are passed down through generations, becoming a cultural undercurrent that binds the community to the history and the very soul of the bridge. So, as you traverse the vast expanse of the Humber Bridge, a structure of steel and concrete, a marvel of engineering, ask yourself, are these spectral encounters real? Or are they an intricate dance between human psychology, environmental anomaly, the profound power of belief, and the lingering echoes of genuine human sorrow? The dense fog rolls in, swallowing the towers and roadway, leaving a silent, ethereal void where a monumental structure once stood. Whether you see it as a spectral reality or a tapestry woven from perception and folklore, the legends of the Humber Bridge remind us that some mysteries are perhaps best left unsolved. They allow the chilling narratives to live on, forever binding us to the unseen depths of both the bridge and the endlessly imaginative human mind, a place where reality and ghost stories forever entwine.